to ask the editor. The editor, sometimes called the executive editor or editor-in-chief, is the faculty member in charge of the content of the journal. This person is usually the most knowledgeable about what articles are most likely to be accepted. Unless he or she is editing a journal that you know receives hundreds of submissions a year, I recommend that you write to him or her to see if you can get a merely peer review in advance. Your letter is called a query letter. Sending query letters is standard practice in newspaper and magazine publishing, but uncommon in journal publishing. Let me explain. Emailing the editors of your 3 top choices for journals is one of the most effective things you can do to increase your chances of publication in a good journal. As the only legitimate way around the single submission rule, it can prevent you from sending your work to a journal that will only reject your article and can aid you in finding a journal that will most likely accept your article. Writing a query letter gets you one of 4 types of editorial responses. If you have done your journal research carefully and written a good query letter, most editors will write back saying, "Send it alone." No editor will make a commitment to publish your article sight unseen, no matter how good your query letter. For many students, however, even this much encouragement is helpful. Creating a kind of deadline or expectation that keeps you going. Many students have told me that just knowing that an editor had their work in mind aided them in completing their article and sending it. By the way, you are under no obligation to send the article to that journal just because you sent the query letter. Most editors will say little more than "send it alone," but some editors will communicate their excitement about your project. Comments like, "This is just the kind of article we are looking for," or "an intellectual terms." "Your manuscript sounds very interesting," or "You don't have to be a big name to publish with us. We are looking for promising young researchers," are very encouraging. More important, some editors will write back with extremely useful information, such as, "It's so interesting that you wrote to me today because we just had an article drop out of a special issue on X, and your article sounds like it might fit. Can you send the article immediately?" That is, Writing a query letter to editors can gain your access to information you need to make the best decision. Some editors will even give you a mini peer review by sending you a response, such as, "Your article sounds very interesting, although we usually only publish quantitative articles." Or, "It sounds like your article would be suitable for our journal, although your sample size might be a problem." This kind of response is money in the bank, and you should thank the editor for giving you such a helpful answer. You may be able to make small changes to your article that will dramatically increase your chances of acceptance. Or you can send it to another journal less likely to have that problem. One student received 3 such helpful responses to his article on Chinese political economy. All 3 editors liked his abstract, but each one had a different suggestion about what might be done to the article to make it more suitable for his journal. The first noted that the student's article was a single country study, and the journal tended to publish articles with a broad comparative cross-national content. The second said the same, but recommended that the student include a section on the relevance of his case to other transitional economies. And the third recommended that the student make sure to cite their recent articles on the topic. The student, having received these wonderful mini reviews, could then decide what kinds of changes he was most interested in making and submit his article accordingly. The most useful editors of all are those who take the time to be negative. This may sound counterintuitive, but getting your query letters rejected is part of what you are trying to do. Why go through the lengthy peer review process when you can get it over with in an email exchange? Be grateful for the editor who heads you off at the pass. Editors can tell you that they are no longer interested in publishing articles on your topic, that they never publish articles with your methodological approach, that they already have an upcoming article on your topic, or that they will not be able to publish any new submissions for several years. Such an editor has saved you not only months of time, but also the heartbreak of wholesale rejection. It's much easier to accept a rejection of your query letter than of your article. You are far more likely to pick yourself up and move on from the first rejection than the second. Finally, some editors will not respond, although there can be many reasons for not responding, including being away from email or the large volume of queries. it is not a good sign about the functionality of the journal. If you have written to both the managing editor and the editor and have heard from neither within 2 weeks, you should think twice before sending your article to that journal. Chances are that they will not be efficient about getting back to you with a peer review either.